Okay, so this is the last talk to conclude our customer experience part of the day. And we're going to be talking about how customer experience, brand story, and support drive long-term growth. And to do that, we have, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you. I'm Tennille. I'm the founder of Just Fred, which was inspired by my bond with my dogs, Mo and Rizzo. We are focused on creating vegan, style-forward travel carriers for dogs. And they're really geared towards bringing ease for their pet parents to bring them along, and also the comfort for the dog. A big thing in our mission also is supporting senior dog rescue.
Hey everyone, I'm Louis Monoyudis. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at a company called Artware. We're an online art gallery similar to MoMA Design Store in offerings. So we partner with blue chip artists in their estates like Basquiat, Warhol, etc., and then create really fun giftable items like plates, towels, rugs. And then we also have a really big B2B business where we sell directly to interior designers and architects with a different portfolio of items like $25,000 coffee tables, etc.
Nice. Yeah, I'm Neil Forrest from. This kind of feels like we're going to do karaoke again.
Oh no! Don't remind me. Please.
That was last night. I'm Neil Forrest from Gorgias. As you can probably tell, I'm not from around these parts. I manage the partnerships team in EMEA for Gorgias, and I work with D2C Live and Rainy City Agency. For those who don't know who Gorgias are and what we do, we are the #1 help desk and conversational AI platform for Shopify brands, and we essentially pull together all of the channels, the support channels that brands have, into one place, and then provide a ton of automation via various different tools and AI to make support teams more efficient and ultimately drive more revenue through support. I also do have my own e-com brand. I was a Gorgias customer before I joined Gorgias, so although I'm here in my Gorgias capacity today, I do feel the pain of the brand owners in this room as well.
And what is the brand?
Oh yeah, it's a tartan scarf company. Yeah, there's a big cliche, the Scottish guy selling tartan. Yeah.
Makes sense. I thought you were going to wear a kilt today as well, but I'm very disappointed. Louis, let's jump straight into it. So where do you think most D2C brands fall short when trying to turn first-time buyers into loyal advocates?
It's a great question because we're so focused on transactions, and what we really want to do is build brand believers. So over the course of my career, I've developed a framework upon which brand belief is built, which is compassion, courage, and conviction. So as marketers, as brand advocates, we really need to have compassion for our end customers. We need to have the courage to do what others aren't doing, and we need to speak with conviction about what we believe in. So I think that if we're able to turn a transaction into that LTV ratio that we're all looking to do with the downward pressure on CAC, we can get there, but it really has to do with making sure that we're always thinking about the customer first.
Yeah, definitely. And Tennille, I'd like to add to that, how do you balance emotional storytelling with performance goals in a niche category like yours?
Yeah, I mean, as a mission-led brand, we really believe that sharing our stories builds the connection with our customers, and that connection is really the strength that powers everything that we are standing for. So it's even beyond the product, but it's really that lifestyle connection that you feel seen, and that you feel like you actually are a part of something with this brand that feels like understood in a very kind of niche type of segment, like people who like to include their dogs in public.
Yeah, I think building that connection as well definitely has a direct impact on loyalty. Speaking of loyalty, Neil, what role does customer service play in shaping retention and loyalty, especially in tough economic conditions?
Yeah, I mean, at a very basic level, if you treat your customers badly, they're never going to come back. And at worst, they will just return that first purchase, so you're at an instant loss. So we really need to be offering, good customer service from the outset. And that starts with the pre-sale service. It's not just about, getting a package to the customer quickly. It's about, answering any pre-sales questions quickly and accurately, so that it gives them the confidence from that first purchase to come back time and time again. And on your point on like the economic landscape, quite simply, if you treat a customer badly, like they will go to a competitor now. They'll either go to a cheaper competitor or to a competitor who offers better customer service. And none of us can really be affording like that.
Definitely. And how are the best brands using customer support as a lever for growth, not just service recovery?
The thing that I notice, I think, between that the best brands are doing is a mindset thing. So traditionally, customer service has been seen as a bit of a cost center to businesses. But when you kind of flip your mindset to this can be one of our profitable channels, then that's one of the biggest differences. So what that starts with is again the pre-sales questions and using as much sort of automation as possible to answer quickly and remove any doubt that a customer might have, because ultimately humans are kind of lazy and they'll follow the path of least resistance. If they're not getting the answer to a question either on your page or from the customer service team quickly, they'll just go elsewhere. They'll close the website. They'll find a different product. So yeah, shift in mindset, be proactive. Use automation as much as possible.
I love that. It's a mindset.
I have a thought on that. I think you're absolutely right that it's really interesting to see where customer service sits in the organization. So like you, I see customer service as a sales channel. Typically, customer service tends to fall under operations. Whenever I come into a company, I ask that customer service be under my purview. And one of the first things we do is we go through all of the scripts, all the flows, all the macros, because we really want to make sure that's the touch point people have with the brand, right? Is if you have a question, you want to make sure that it's getting answered in a way that's in your brand voice, that's helpful, that's complete, because if you don't, then they're just going to bounce and go somewhere else.
Tennille, so you briefly just mentioned about connection. How do you stay connected to your audience without relying on heavy budgets or big campaigns?
Yeah, I think it's being really consistent with micro-connected emotional experiences. There's things that we really have found great success in. Like we partner with a dog rescue, and we have a Senior Sunday series where we're featuring a dog every Sunday. And I'll tell you, that type of connection with our community is a huge driver for just really feeling like we're not just talking about the product, but that we are showing up and speaking about something that they actually care about. We also, we're starting a new series called Fred Fridays, where I'm going to be highlighting life with my dogs on Fridays and experiences, and just really showing the confidence that you can have, including your dogs in more activities versus leaving them home. So we'll see how that goes. But I think those kind of small things can have a big voice when your budgets are small.
Will there be a Fred Friday tomorrow?
Yeah, that it will.
We're all very excited. Louis, you mentioned about emotional resonance in a data-driven world. How do you create that balance in your funnel?
So I think this is I'll take it maybe up a level. One of the things that I see coming into companies, especially when the CEO is also the founder, is that for a period of time, you are your target audience. It's very autobiographical. And you're able to make decisions about the business, the brand, the product assortment based on your personal judgment and experience. There comes a tipping point. Usually I see that around 10 million in top line revenue, when you may no longer be your core audience. And it takes a real level of humility in the business owners to say, I'm going to now move to more data-driven decision-making processes and understand that because I think something's right for the brand, it may no longer be right. So I think, again, putting the customer front and center is really important. That's usually one of the things I have to do when I come into a business, especially if they just raised a big venture round, everyone's flying high, and the CEO is like, I'm king of the world or I'm queen of the world. And the reality is you know what? To get to that next level, you might need to make some real changes.
Yeah, I think it's hard to balance it, isn't it? Because like Alex mentioned earlier, sometimes you do have to trust your gut, even if the data says otherwise. Neil, what trends are you seeing in how brands integrate tools like Gorgias into the on-site and post-purchase journey?
We've done quite well to get to this point and not really like dive too deep into like AI. So I'll address it.
We'll start.
So I mean, AI is definitely like the biggest trend that we're seeing in customer service. Everyone is trying to do more with like the resources they have, or in some cases more with less. And AI allows people to do that. So particularly as we're coming into like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and like holiday season, peak trading, like support tickets and inquiries are going to increase. So what do brands do? They've got two options. They either look at increasing headcount, which is increasing cost, or do they automate and be able to via AI? And particularly, you asked about Gorgias. Like we have a new product which is Shopping Assistant, which focuses on like the pre-purchase questions. Previously, AI was really good at answering like post-purchase stuff, but now they can do like the full end-to-end journey, 24/7, like 7 days a week. So pretty much that is the main trend that we're seeing right now, is brands preparing for Black Friday and peak via or by implementing AI agent.
Yeah, I definitely see people leveraging AI more now than being scared of it. So it's great to see. Louis, with so many touch points in today's buyer journey, what's the one channel you feel is still underused?
So there's a couple. I was really enjoying the session just before me about audio and podcasts. I'm a big fan of leveraging that channel. I think YouTube has a tremendous opportunity, especially because, well, a few reasons. One, obviously you have the SEO impact. Two, it gets indexed by Gemini. But three, the content stays evergreen. So you can have a video you post today that somebody 3 years from now can see or stumble across, etc. So I think brand-led content on YouTube is really underutilized. Shorts, obviously, a lot of people just throw their TikTok content into shorts, which is fine. There's probably a better strategy for that. But I do recommend diving into longer form content around that.
I think like TikTok and online selling and everything's just huge at the moment. Or maybe I just spend too much time on my phone, I don't know. Tennille, what's been the most surprising way your customers have shaped the evolution of your brand?
Yeah, I think feedback on, we created these large totes, and it was kind of something that I wasn't quite sure where that would take us. And the feedback was extremely it was monumental to our growth and how we thought about our product line. I mean, totes for large dogs just seems a little bit odd, but I had a gut feeling that there was something missing in the category. So just really listening to the customers, seeing their responses, really kind of helped us shape like what are our next steps, and just being really mindful of that.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get my head around totes for big dogs. Now, in a world moving fast towards automation, how do you maintain empathy and brand tone in support?
I'll get to that in a minute, but we need to chat after, because I really want to launch matching tartan dog jackets.
Ah, there you go.
Oh my god!
So you've got like the owner wearing a tartan scarf. And then,
it's a big thing. Yeah. I'd love to. Yeah.
What's the question again? Oh yeah, balancing it, empathy. Yeah, I mean it's so important, right? Like no one wants to just chat to AI all the time, and particularly if it's like, shall we say, the old style of chatbot, where like you get caught in this like endless loop, and it's just the most frustrating thing ever. The good news is that sort of AI agents are much better, particularly in the last 12 months. They've just got like exceptionally good. But ultimately, you need to provide a human to train that AI. So I think like the power in AI lies in the person training it, but also always giving the customer the chance to chat to the person or via the channel that they feel comfortable with. So at all stages in the conversation, giving the customer the option to speak to a human is important, particularly for like the things that require more of like an emotional response or emotional intelligence and any like escalations.
Yeah, amazing. I think like with automation, it only works if you actually put the effort in first.
Yeah, for sure.
And Tennille, to finish off, as a mission-driven brand, how do you make decisions around growth that don't compromise your values?
Yeah, I mean, being a vegan brand, I think that's a big thing that we're always trying to make sure that we keep that integral part of what we're making decision-wise. also premium products or premium fabrics, like just all of those types of things that are important as we think about our growth and not compromising that. I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to, what your products is as well as the community. So keeping that front and center is key to us.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, to summarize what you've all said, really, is that customer experience doesn't just start at checkout. Yeah. There's a lot more behind it. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm excited to see the tartan scarf and just spread crossover.
Yes, right?
Cheers, Molly.
Thank you.